I think I need to introduce myself. So my name is Rene. I'm working also for Flexoptix, one of the patrons, or I don't know how I'd call it here at UKNOF. I'm also chairman of the board for the Global NOG Alliance, and normally we do cool work like supporting NOGs when some people have the idea to organize a NOG. We are supporting with own hosted websites and Indico systems, and we are mentored to explain how you can organize a NOG, how it works, and all this kind of stuff. This is also part of my work from Flexoptix, to travel to countries and looking is a NOG existent or not, and then when not it is existent, I'm looking for some cool people, and then I'm organizing a NOG with these cool people. I did this I started a NOG Uganda with Isabel in 2020, and then we need to move from a physical event to a virtual event. We started with 150 virtual attendees, and 221, 280, and now we had a workshop day end of June with 68 people, and we have next week, we have 3rd and 4th, a physical meeting in Kampala. Conference, one workshop day, one conference day with 150 attendees. It's amazing. So this is only example what you can do. Do things, don't talk about it. Look for people, look for money, and start. This is also a good intro for what we're doing at the Global NOG Alliance normally. And then we had this day X in 2014, and the Russian armed forces occupied all the eastern part in the Crimea area and Luhansk, Donetsk region in Ukraine, and then everything moved a little bit. It was 24th of February, everything changed. Everything changed. And also, why I'm doing this, I think I had one of the best mentors last year. It is Fergus McKay. He is also part of this UKNOF, I think also on a PC, or Fergus? Yeah. And yeah, I'm happy. I learned a lot of things, how this community is working. Also before I started Flexoptix, he teach me a lot of really good things. And also since I joined this community, I have one of my mindsets is I don't think in colors, I don't think in borders, or I don't care about genders or whatever. I don't, you know what I mean? Everyone is the same people. It's a human individuum I'm talking to. And as I mentioned before, we had this 24th of February, and I was waking up. I got a lot of messages from Ukrainian network operators and ISPs. The reason is I attended a lot of NOG meetings, Eurasian Network Operator Group meetings, was happened in Russia, in Moscow, in Belarus, in Letland, in etc. And I have a lot of Russian friends out of the community, and I have a lot of Belarus friends, I have a lot of Ukrainian friends, and this shit happens. Sorry, I can't find other words. We don't need a war. And at the point I got all the message, I was waking up at 6 o'clock, I need to prepare my tiny daughter, 2 years old, for the kindergarten, and I need to apologize at this morning. This needs to be part of your life. We need to talk when you're getting old, what happens in Ukraine. And I was shocked. I was really shocked. And the reason is the first thing, what you need to think about is how you balance your Ukrainian, Russian, Belarus friends, you know what I mean? So, and then I contacted everyone and said, what happens? And it was hard. The first 2 weeks of this war was really hard. I got a lot of shock messages, and a friend of mine, this is Patrick, this guy with no hairs and the eyeglasses. This Patrick is I know this guy only via Facebook. He is a DJ also in Berlin, so I played music also since 1996, and I founded also DJs in Tech to play at socials on all the NOGs, nanogs, and apricots, and all these big conferences around the world to collect money, and then we're going to kindergarten and schools in Africa, Brazil, buying stuff for the kids and giving this directly to the kids. We don't transfer money, you know. And he posted at Facebook, hey, guys, I got a 40-ton truck. This is a left one, and I'm driving to Ukraine with humanitarian goods. Who wants to join? I said, hey, we have the same friend. It's Falco Wemme. He is owner of a rental company for event equipment, etc. And I said, hey, I'm going to Falco asking for the tiny one. So then we had 2 trucks, and then we loaded the trucks, and we was going through Poland, over 900 kilometers to Lemberg, to Lviv, and handled the stuff over only humanitarian goods. But we are leaving Europe. I think you have the same experience when you're leaving UK to Europe. You need your passport. We had the same there. So he forgot his passport. He was traveling. He was thinking, oh yes, it's Europe, and my normal ID, it's enough. No, it wasn't enough. So we stuck for 3-4 hours between the borders in the middle of nowhere. It's a no man's land. It's between Poland and Ukraine. So, and it was 2-3 weeks after the war started, and you had a lot of people that came out. Not people, only women and kids. The reason they have a rule of war when the war started, and this president is saying we have this activated rule of wars, means when you reached 18 and you're not older like 60, you need to stay in Ukraine. It's possible we need you for the armed forces. So all the ladies, the mummies and grannies was running out of the country to find a safe place for the kids and for the older generations. And I was shocked. It was a huge tent there on the border crossing area, and I've heard also this screaming and crying babies for 3-4 hours. And normally we wanted to have a nap. It wasn't possible. I was shocked, and I had also a half hour of. I can't say it was meditation. I was crying. I was shocked with this situation to be in such situation. You're driving into a war zone to handle humanitarian stuff over, like jackets, mattresses, socks, and food, and all noodles, and all this kind of stuff. It was shocked. I was really shocked. I'm also shocked right now when I have my every day my calls with ISPs and the digital of digital transformation and telecommunication in Ukraine. And then I came back, and as a chairman, I want to share my experience I had the last 2 days or 3 days of driving to Ukraine, of coming back, and with the border crossing. And also when I came back, we handled over everything like at the airport in Lviv. And when you're coming back and you're sitting down with your kid, with your baby and your wife on a couch, and you see exactly this point was 2 days later bombed and destroyed by rockets from the Russian armed forces. So this makes you really scared about it. And then I shared all my experience I had in Ukraine and the trip, and I had also conversations via Facebook with owners of ISPs, how it works right now. And then we decided to found this Keep Ukraine Connected thing. To say, it's good to be there. It's good to say, hey, sorry, it's a war. We can do it. You can do a lot of things when you want. That's the reason I have the mindset: don't talk about it, do it. And this is when I'm organizing NOGs, do it. Look for people, do it. Grab money from companies, do it. Grab, not get, sponsorings. And this is like why we are doing it. It is like the team behind me with Jan George, with Sander Stefan, with Natalie from Ripen CC, and also Corinne. We are very well connected in this community globally. I'm traveling 1-2 days a year to 1-2 countries a year, not so much, but yeah, I'm traveling a bit. And I'm seeing this like UKNOF. It's not like I know a couple of people. It's my second family. When I'm attending a conference or a NOG meeting, it's my second family. I'm talking to you like I'm talking to my own family, to my real family, to my first family. That's the reason I'm saying you can ask my travel mummy, Inga. Yeah? It's this is like you need to live and love this community, or you're doing your job on the wrong way. And we have this understanding. We are the link between the war zone and all these ISPs and network operator in Ukraine. And all the vendors and the network operator in all other parts and regions of the world. This is a chart, a map of the 24th of February, when the Russian armed forces came into Ukraine via 4 axes. It was from the northern, from the northeastern part, eastern part, the already occupied regions of Luhansk, Donetsk, and then southern part, Kherson, Crimea area. And this is what happens with the ICT. You can see in the middle, all the red bubbles are detected anomalies during the night 24th to 25th. And you can see in the southern part, in the left side, it's like Luhansk region. It was a little bit, but the most attacks was seen in the Kiev area and then Kharkiv region. This is a chart from how it looks like right now in Ukraine, from the physical perspective and the occupied regions. I'm happy Kharkiv is nearly free and not. It's claimed. It's a new, better wording as like reoccupied or whatever. It's claimed again back from Ukrainian armed forces. But when I see all these calls I had, it's a question of time. You don't know how the Russian armed forces are coming back or whatever. They're acquired a lot of soldiers right now. So hopefully we can talk. No, normally when I was waking up 24th, I was thinking we have only a discussion about it or conversations 1 week maximum. And right now we are talking too long about it. And this is the attacks happens up to 20th of September, Luhansk region, Kherson region, Zaporizhia region. And that's also Kharkiv region we are supporting right now with Elite Telecom. They got a lot of splicers from us to rebuild the fiber infrastructure and make sure the internet is working again. This is a chart from Emil from RIPE NCC with the Atlas probes, and you can see after it's working. After the 24th to the 25th, you can see a slow decline of the Atlas probes. This is when the Russian armed forces attacked us. An example, Kiev. You can see this also in the Atlas probes chart. This is what happens before, up to May 29, with the fiber infrastructure in Ukraine. Everything was coming out of Kiev POPs to the Kharkiv and Kherson region. And then the Russian armed forces switched also all this internet traffic directly via the occupied regions to Moscow back, also with the internet traffic of data, news, and all this kind of stuff. Then we're coming to data block and information blocks and new blocks. And this is why Ukraine is right now also important for us. We are based. I'm based in Berlin or outside of Berlin. Sander is based in Netherlands. Jan is based in Ljubljana, and also Ukraine is a service region of RIPE NCC. So you can see we have over 7.5 million of IPv4 addresses there, and also nearly 3,000 of the IPv6 addresses. So, and we need to support such regions. Each of us is also a member of the RIPE. So, and I grabbed some data from PeeringDB to make it visible how important like Kiev is as a data hub. You have a lot of data centers there, and you have a lot of IXPs there. I think Ukraine is one of the craziest countries I know. They have 19 IXPs there. It's a lot. A lot of tinies. Each of the ISPs runs their own IXP. It's crazy. But the big ones are based in Kiev, and also the big data centers are in Kiev. And that makes also, when Kiev is under attack, it makes difficult, or it is really difficult to have active infrastructure there. The power generators during a war or attacks are running out of fuel, all this kind of stuff. And this was the first weeks of the war. It was very difficult to have the data center working. This is only a short overview about some fibers that are running through Ukraine and to the northern, east, western part, and then to western part of Europe. And this is from Rene, and you can see everyone is nearly crossing Ukraine. And also that's important. Rene and Data Line are also good friends of mine to say, okay, we need to support you in case something happens. And this is, I don't really don't want, please read, I really don't want to comment or to read these lines again and again. This is how Russian armed forces came to Kiev, to Kherson, Kharkiv region, and visited ISP owners in Ukrainian regions, and to shut down the local internet connectivity, to make sure no international news are coming to the local Russian people that are based in Ukraine. And also this one. These are statements from the New York Times from an interview with a couple of the ISP owners there. And this is hard. I never want to be in such situation. And when I'm having this information and also background information out of the country, it makes me proud what we did after we had our board call and decided to have Ukraine, keep Ukraine connected. What I mentioned before, we have the understanding we are the link between the disaster region and the global community. And at some point, we started to use our social medias, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and all this kind of stuff, Discord, etc., and all these Mattermost channels we have to say, okay, we started Keep Ukraine Connected, and what we need? Your help. We need hardware, switches, routers, access points for shelters, for bunkers, to make sure, PoE switches, to make sure all the people that are going into bunkers during an attack, they can have connectivity to chat with a husband, can chat with a family. They're right now in Germany or in Poland or in Czech Republic or Romania or whatever. And one of my board colleagues had a great idea. Hey, Rene, you have a big house. We can ship everything first time to you, and then you can grab it. You can rent a truck, and then you're driving to Ukraine again. It was a nice idea, but I was 1 week off for Cloudfest in Germany. It's the southern part of Germany, and after 2 years I left my house. My wife was sending me some nice WhatsApp pictures with pallets of equipment and was, what is the right, she was unhappy, yes. So she was a little bit unhappy. So I was going around to my neighbors and asking, hey, you have a carport, you can stay with a car on the street, I need a carport for a couple of weeks or days. So I handed everything over to neighbors, and 3 neighbors was really nice and said, okay, use this carport and then it's fine. Some stuff was packed in boxes, something switches, like we got a huge amount of switches from Vincent, the university in Berlin. It's from Technical University in Berlin donated 280 Cisco switches. I was saying, oh, I was there with pallets of switches. I was saying, but it was stuff for Ukraine. And then I scheduled, before I'm coming to this supply and demand tool, it was arriving, everything. It was putting into a truck, but at the customs, we don't know what we had. So I was going to a customs, the guy was opening the door and saying, oh, what's that? I said, there are switches, routers, antennas, Wi-Fi, access points, and yeah, for what? This is trash? No, it's not trash. And then you need to start with very, very easy CCNA, like OSI layer, and this is layer 1 equipment, and blah, 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 and this is routing and switching. You can connect, and then you have internet and all this kind of stuff, but also you're talking about dual-use hardware. I wasn't aware about it. So normally you have, when you're leaving European area, you need to have this 2-step export scenery. You need to apply, and then you have this German BAFA. The German BAFA is saying, oh, dual-use hardware. It can be used by armed forces out of European, oh, we are not happy when you're going out with this stuff, so you need to declare it on a special way, and then you have a BAFA, they need to approve it and saying, okay, it's okay, then you can leave with the stuff to countries out of Europe. So to make everything a little bit easier and to have an overview of what we have, we scripted a tool, or not we, Sander was silent for 2 days and 2 nights, and he scripted the supply and demand tool. It's based on Python. It's very simple. The first version was very simple. It was like a donator can put in, oh no, donator and requester need to ping us again via email. We created the account in the system for requester and for donator. And at this stage, we had like 300, 400 incoming mails every day. And we was lost. Sander, Jan, Rene was completely lost. And then Natalie from RIPE NCC joined us, and she said, okay, guys, shut up, shut down, close mail, Outlook, or whatever, we need to talk. On this way, it works right now, it doesn't work for the future. You will be completely overloaded and burn out after 4 weeks or whatever. So then we decided, I've pinged via Facebook or LinkedIn Atlassian. We got a donation for 1-2 years for Jira and also for Confluence to have a knowledge database, to have a ticket system. I automated everything inside. So when you have a request, you automatically getting the link, you're sending a info at Keep Ukraine Connected with a request. I have requests or donators, or then in time it will creating an account in our system as a requester or donator. You're getting all these access codes and you have access to the database, and then as a donator you can put in everything you want to donate. A requester can see what donators put already in, what is available. And this was version 1. Version 2, we have also added how many pieces are offered, how many pieces already claimed, how many are rejected, not usable or defect or whatever, not working, and how many pieces we have received in our volunteer warehouses. Right now we have 2 volunteer warehouses, one volunteer warehouse in the western part of Germany. It's via our team member Daniel Rubin from Rock Solid, and one in Poland, in Rubin from PLNOG, and it works very well. We have 2 shipping possibilities. All the Western European guys can ship to Germany, and Daniel is driving every month to Ukraine and handle the stuff over to DEPS, to a partner of us. And Marcin is also going to Ukraine every month with all the stuff he has in the warehouse. We are working with 2 systems, with our system, with this 8 coordinator, and we have also a call center and a coordination center at DEPS. We are working in Ukraine with DEPS. They are doing a great job since 31 years. It's a normally distributor. We are shipping all stuff to DEPS, handling it over in Lviv or Kiev data warehouse. They have employees, and the employees are driving on a volunteer base to all this region in Ukraine and handle this stuff over to all these requesters. Right now we are working with the Ministry of Digital Transformation together, and also DEPS, what I mentioned before. It's our local distributor. We don't pay him. He is not getting and doing any money with the equipment. He is handling this stuff over to Ukraine requesters for free. They're getting money for fuel and gas and all this kind of stuff from the ministry, I'm sure. And we are working also with the Ukrainian Internet Association with Natalie together. Why we are doing this, I have only 5 minutes left. What I mentioned before is the human or second family perspective. And these are some pictures like Kharkiv region and Kherson region. And you can see the best telecom network engineers are going here and splicing a fiber in front of a tank. I got a request at Twitter. One of my contacts wants to go to Ukraine to splice fibers, and I sent him these pictures, and he said, okay, I'm waiting. I don't want to do this job, so it's crazy. It's a destroyed bridge, and they are pulling over a new fiber to connect one one city with the other city right now on the easy way. And these are splicers we shipped right now, I think over 1 million of donated equipment we shipped over to Ukraine. I have a chart, and also we got a lot of money to buy splicers and welding machines and OTDR stuff to send it to Ukraine to make sure the Ukrainian ISPs can rebuild the infrastructure, can splice some defect fibers, etc. This are Daniel and this is Marcin when they handled over the stuff. All in, we had right now 7 deliveries, around 1 million euros, over 6 tons right now, 17 splicers. We have right now 8 additional or 7 additional splicers in our warehouse in Rubin. Is going to Ukraine next weeks. Also OTDR gear for measure the thresholds, etc. on the fiber. And we got a huge amount of money from SES satellites without any discussions, without any requirements or whatever. And these are the regions we supported right now. You can see the most regions, it's like the ex-occupied and attacked region to rebuild the infrastructures of Kiev, then Kharkiv, Kherson region, etc. And let me check. Yeah. Right now we had our nearly 2,000 of switches we got, and we already delivered to Ukraine ISPs. And who is behind the task force? It's, as I mentioned, Corinne, Natalie from IPNCC, Sander, also 6Connect, like Jan, also 6Connect, and me. And also a couple of people are joined, like Eric Bays, he is more responsible for all relations in Netherlands, Daniel Rubin for Netherlands and western part of Germany, also volunteer driver. Issa Pal, she is coordinating also parts of Czech Republic requests or donation requests and Hungary and all kind of stuff. And Marcin is more responsible and volunteer driver with a warehouse in Poland, in Rybnik. It's 2 hours away from the border to Ukraine. Yeah, and thanks to our employer, they make sure we have enough time to work on this. It was weeks, it was for weeks, it was a full day job to coordinate everything and building trust and everything. What I want to mention is everything happens via internet, via Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. All connections we have are via internet. We had only 2 calls, 2 video calls we arranged to coordinate everything. One call was when I came back from Ukraine to share my experience. One call when we had the onboarding with Natalie to explain how we are working right now. And then afterwards she was saying, okay, it doesn't work for the future. And this is amazing for me when some people, some colleagues from Flexoptix are asking me, can we have a call? No, you can ping me what you need. I don't want to call you, you know. This is a big project, and everything is based on communication via Facebook Messenger, Twitter, Telegram groups, WhatsApp groups, etc. That's amazing, but it's also, it shows you how important internet connectivity is. That's it. One thing, when you have equipment, right now we are supporting a second project, it's Wi-Fi for schools. We are looking for access points, we are looking also for hardware like 1G PoE switches for bunker shelters for, I don't know what happens in the future, only to make sure they are available. Splicing gear, OTDR, 10G, 100G switches and all this kind of stuff. When you have equipment, drop us a mail. We will send you the link to the aid coordinator. You can put it in and then automatically all the requesters getting information, new donations is we have a new donator. Please check the database, what you need or what you don't need. Yeah, that's it. Thanks for the possibility. Thanks for your time. Yeah, I'm happy we are nearly back to face-to-face meetings. So, yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you for a tremendous effort. Thank you to all the people who are supporting you. This is the right thing to do. Mail Ukraine at nogalliance.org. Anybody have questions for Rene? No?
Cool, no.
In that case,
Thanks.
We're very appreciative that you were able to come and do this, and I think it's remarkably important that everybody understand what's going on here. And Ukraine may not be the last place where this happens. There are other places in the world that have less conspicuous infrastructure issues.
Yeah, we had a conversation with Myanmar as an example. It's what happens there is also crazy with the internet infrastructure and all geo-blocks and all this kind of stuff. So the better thing, what my feeling is a war based on religions. That's really hard at these times. War, we don't need a war. I don't need a gun. I don't need weapons. I don't need rockets. So we can talk to each other. You know what I mean? That's the reason why I'm saying we are the global community. And don't talk. I'm so sorry for it. Try to do something. That's the most important thing. Thanks for your time.